Yo, what's up, guys? Del Boy here, aka Blue Collar Sports TV. Hopefully, you guys are doing well. If you're new here, smash the like, hit subscribe, all of that good stuff. So, continuing on with our heavyweight prospect series, today we will cover the Croatian heavyweight prospect, Alen Babic. As a pro, Alen Babic has a record of 4-0 with 4 knockouts. He is 29 years old, he's listed as 6'1", and quite frankly, he is a small heavyweight. In terms of the amateur credentials, he was an amateur for a fair few years, but he never really, went in any major tournaments. He never really got to international level in the amateurs. His best win in the amateurs actually was against a guy called Peter Milas, who's also a Croatian heavyweight prospect right now. Babic was never really an elite level amateur, to be honest, although he did have a few fights in the World Series of Boxing. As I said, as a pro, he's very early on in his career. He's only 4-0 with 4 knockouts. Most notably, he's recently fought against Sean Del Torrell Winters on Matchroom Fight Camp, and he knocked out Sean Del Torrell Winters in 2 rounds. That was a good result. Obviously, Sean Del Torrell Winters, he's beaten a couple of prospects in the past, and also he went 5 rounds with Joseph Parker. So on paper, that was definitely a good result for Alen Babic, and since then, Alen Babic has actually grown like a cult fan base in the UK. A lot of people actually quite like Alen Babic over here, so, he's got a bit of a niche fan base in the UK, which is good for him in terms of marketing and whatnot, and he's certainly a fun fighter. He is a very small heavyweight. He's 6'1", and in the Sean Del Torrell Winters fight, he only actually weighed 205 pounds, and in that fight, he actually looked a little bit fleshy, So I wonder, in terms of actually getting to a high level, I wonder whether it would be better for actually Alen Babic to go down to the cruiserweight division, because he is extremely small for a heavyweight, but as we know, the money is in the heavyweight division, so I understand where Alen Babic is coming from. I understand why he's fighting in the heavyweight division. But, as a smaller heavyweight, as we would expect, Alen Babic is the guy who likes to apply pressure. He likes to kind of maraud forwards, and he'll throw overhand shots. He'll try to work the body, and he'll basically try to apply pressure. He is a bit crude. He is a little bit unrefined at times. But, he does actually attack with a fair amount of ferocity. And yeah, his game plan is basically to burst pipes with his pressure. He seems to have pretty decent power from what he's shown so far, although the level of competition hasn't been, particularly great. But he does seem relatively heavy-handed. I would like to see a bit more of a jab from Alen Babic coming forwards, and a little bit better defense, to be honest. He actually said he molds himself off Joe Fraser, being a smaller heavyweight. And, I would like to see him actually try to put that into action and show a bit more head movement coming forwards, because from what I've seen so far, Alen Babic is a guy who comes forwards, yeah, but he really doesn't offer any forms of defense, doesn't really move his head, his guard isn't particularly tight, and he's certainly open for shots. So as he steps up the levels, I would like to see a bit more attention to defense, to get on the inside, bob and weave basically. He's a small heavyweight. He needs to be looking at the likes of Mike Tyson and Joe Fraser, to basically try and make that style work. He needs to be studying those sort of guys. That sort of style, it's all well and good kind of blasting over journeymen and guys like Sean Del Torrell Winters, but as you step up, if he doesn't improve, he could definitely be found out. So in terms of defense, I think Alen Babic needs to improve a lot. But I do like the fact that he does apply pressure. I do like the fact that he loads up on every shot. He tries to go for the knockout. He tries to make you uncomfortable. His foot speed isn't the slowest. He actually covers that distance quite quickly, which is nice. So, there are some basic ingredients there. But in terms of the technical aspects of boxing, Alen Babic does, in my opinion, leave a lot to be desired. Basically in terms of defense, lack of a jab, he does need to actually improve a fair bit. If he's coached correctly, maybe this guy can do something. But right now, I certainly wouldn't say Alen Babic is like an elite level heavyweight prospect. he's talking about fighting the likes of Filip Hrgovic, who I see as an elite level prospect. I think he should leave Filip Hrgovic well alone right now. Hrgovic is far too advanced, he's far too big, his amateur background was far more extensive. Hrgovic is a lot further ahead than Alen Babic. Babic, in my opinion, can't really be afforded to be fast-tracked. I think he needs a bit of time to get certain fights, get some rounds in, and basically, hone his craft in the pro game. He's 4-0 as a pro, like I said. In his next fight, I would like to see him fight 2 more times this year. Maybe in his next fight, in sort of late September, October, he should fight somebody like Tom Little, who's fairly experienced. He's an area level fighter. I think that'll be a good next fight for Alen Babic. And providing he gets through Tom Little end of the year, fight somebody like Nick Webb. I think those are, the sort of fights he needs right now. A couple of fights on that level, and maybe in the new year, first quarter of 2021, fight somebody like Dave Allen. That's the sort of route I would be taking Alen Babic down. But I have to say, if I was his trainer, I would be actually, talking to this guy about making cruiserweight, because he is very undersized for the heavyweight division. I'd be looking at cruiserweight personally if I was his trainer, but like I said earlier, the money is in the heavyweight division, so I'm sure he's going to stick around at heavyweight. We'll see how far he goes. I don't personally see him being like an elite level prospect, but one thing I will say, he certainly has an exciting style, and no matter how far this guy does go, it's going to be very exciting following his career and watching it unfold. So yeah, Babic, certainly an exciting prospect in terms of his style, but, in terms of his level and how far he's going to go, I wouldn't put him as a top prospect in the heavyweight division, I've got to be honest. But, yeah, just my quick summary on Alen Babic. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Share your thoughts below. Peace.